Hello there. I have a deal here from December. This is a let go deal. Plus, I went to some pawn shops afterwards. I did. I drove about an hour to go to this let go deal, but it was a really good one. So I was happy to find it. The Let Go app, I'm kind of not a huge fan of. I don't think it's the greatest app, but the fact that people post deals like this on there make it worth it for me to continue using it, because I've gotten a few kind of like bundle lots, and they turned out pretty well. And this one, you can see on the left, was a 3DS lot. It's all 3DS games. They had it posted, and I think I got to it like 12 hours into it, so I was kind of surprised no one had jumped on it before I did. But they had, let's see, they had 8 games listed, and they said $15 a piece or $50 for all of it. You know, which is quite a markdown just to get rid of all of it, if you buy all of it. So I definitely went for that. Messaged them and set up to meet them the next day. The next day they did message me back, and I'll show that the Alliance Alive here is empty. Unfortunately, they said that they didn't check it before, and so they found it was empty. But the deal is still good, because they did tell me that there are 2 sealed games in here. Of course, I'll show those, but that's pretty amazing. So I still went for the $50, even though it was only 7 games in a case now. But let me go ahead and show what they had. RPG Maker FES. Pretty interesting one. And of course, these are all in here. Monster Hunter Stories. Not sure about this one. It almost looks like it's like a Pokemon style Monster Hunter game. So I'll probably be checking that out. Probably the best one of the bunch, Dragon Quest VIII, Journey of the Cursed King. Happy to get that. I recently got a full copy on PS2, but of course I'll play the updated version. So pretty awesome. Ultimate NES Remix. Kind of an interesting thing they did. Like new challenges with NES games. And Pokemon Y. So now the sealed games, pretty cool to find. Fire Emblem Fates Conquest. You can see that's, you probably can't see it's sealed, but it is sealed. And Metroid Samus Returns. Very cool to have these 2 sealed games. I probably won't keep those because I don't like keeping sealed games, but still very cool for that $50. And it was really nice to get some 3DS games, because I never get 3DS games. I think the last one I got was Luigi's Mansion at a pawn shop for pretty cheap. So, you know, $50, it's with 7 games, you know, it's about 7-ish a piece. And I probably won't keep these sealed games, but definitely some good stuff to add to my collection there. So of course, as I normally do, if I have to go out a little bit, I check out the area just to make the day worth it. You know, I want to keep hitting shops and stuff, so hit a few pawn shops. Found some pretty good ones. This first pawn shop I found had a side pocket for $2, so about that, just to add to the collection. They had a Xenoblade Chronicles X. Happy to see that. I haven't played any of the Xenoblades, so I'm happy to get that. This was $7, so pretty good price, you know, for a Wii U game like that. And I did pick up a copy of Road Trip on the PS2. That was a good pickup. That game's still worth a little bit, so I think it's worth picking up if you can find it complete. The next pawn shop also had some pretty cheap prices, and I bought 3 PS2 games. When I brought it up, he said, "Oh, I'll just make them 2 apiece." So really nice of them. This pawn shop had a ton of games, like shelves and shelves of it, and it's just kind of all over the place. A little unorganized, but you know, that's fine. It gives me a good chance to pick up some common titles that, you know, even the ones that were $4 they marked down to 2. So I got Conflict Vietnam. Very nice. Connecticut. To clean up the cover there. That was already 2. And Lethal Skies 2. I actually had a disc of Lethal Skies 2, but picked up a full copy of it. You know, $2, might as well just complete that. So yeah, I got a few for my PS2 collection. Still picking those up. Still working on that full collection. The last game was Hitman HD Trilogy. This was actually a flea market, like antique store I went to, just to check it out. And they did have a row of games, and they had 50% off on it. So it was $10 and 50% off $5. So that's a good pickup. That HD Trilogy is worth a good amount. So that was it. This is definitely a good deal from Let Go. You know, those are the kind of deals I'm looking for, where I can just buy a bundle, and then you know, it'll be worth it for me what I've spent on it, and I can keep some in my collection. And then, you know, I made the trip worth it by picking up a few extra things, a few things for the collection, and a few things to sell. So a good trip overall. All right, hello there. Here are some pickups that I had from had some time off, so I went ahead and did another thing where I went out 2 days in a row, just kind of hitting some areas that I had been to before, in like Kentucky, and then going south again the next day, back towards Nashville. And I'm really glad I did, because not only did I get some good pickups from a few pawn shops and actually a few flea markets, and I went to some game stores as well. GameStop was doing like a buy two get two during this during the end of the year sale, so I was able to hit up GameStops, which I normally don't go to, obviously, because GameStops aren't good for, you know, cheap collecting. But I will have a separate video for GameStop, just showing everything I got from there and the kind of deals I got. I got some really good stuff. So this is basically all the other stuff that I got, just going around to various locations. The first was actually a game store, like a trading store. I was there, took some of my extras in, and so I decided to pick up some stuff while I was there. A nice Vita game, Ragnarok Odyssey. I believe it's Ace, yeah. So that was a nice little pickup. I've been getting some more Vita games, which I'm happy about. That was only $8, so I went ahead and picked it up. You know, I don't know if it's just not very good, and that's why it was pretty cheap, but yeah, we'll see. Xseed games I'll definitely take a chance on. They also had a full copy of Carrier Aces. I put a case on it. I won't pull it out, but it's in good condition. The box is in relatively good condition too, and so I paid $15 for that. You know, if I'm at a game store, I am still picking up complete in box games, you know, if they're decent price, especially if I don't have it, which I didn't have a copy of Carrier Aces. So that's nice to be able to immediately add to my complete in box collection. So let me go to the bottom here for this Home Alone 2 complete in box, also in good condition. You get a protector for that. But that one was 15. Or no, I'm sorry, that was 20 actually. Yeah, that was 20. So I spent a little more on that one, but I was wanting to, this was also at a game store that I went to. I was wanting to, you know, get something there and get a complete in box. So it's in good condition. So I'm happy to add that. You know, $20 is probably pushing it. Speaking of which, from that same store, I picked up a few $5 SNES games. Pitfall: The Mind Adventures. I picked that up for $5 because I actually have the box for it. I picked up a lot of boxes on eBay, and so it's just the box, no insert, no manual, but it's in pretty good condition. There's a little creasing on the top there, you can see, but very nice to be able to get the game and partially complete that. Picked up Bubsy 2 as well. And this one is Turn and Burn, No Fly Zone. So, you know, this is a okay shop. I think they're actually really new because they used to be a part of a flea market, and then that flea market went out of business, so they decided to start their own game shop. And they had some okay deals, you know, nothing too crazy. They actually had like buy two get one on NES games, but unfortunately I couldn't couldn't find any NES games I needed that weren't like cheap sports games, because they had a shelf of like, oh, this shelf is buy two get one. So but other than that, pretty good. I like it when places at least have $5. They could easily put $10 in all these. And actually, I went to a game store later that did have like all their SNES games were at least $10, and this was a sports game, which is kind of a bummer. So those were two from game stores. This next one, I spent $22 total, and this was actually from a pawn shop. And this one was cool. This pawn shop I bought from before. I bought a few Wii U games for like $5 a piece, some good stuff. So I was happy to go back, and I definitely, mark this as a good place because they had some more games, and they were willing to go down on the prices. So I picked up Final Fantasy Explorers for 3DS, just the cart, but only for $4. Pretty great. And also Theatrhythm Final Fantasy, also $4. And that, I just asked because they didn't have prices on their games, and they said $4. So that's great for some 3DS games. Their SNES was also $4, so I picked up a Super Pinball. I think this is Behind the Mask is what this one is. A little beat up, but not too bad. And I also picked up Tetris 2. And that's another one that, pause for suspense, I also have the box for. Another one of the cheap boxes I picked up. So, once again, no insert, no manual, but very cool to pick that up. And that way I have a complete, or at least a box and game copy now. And the last thing was the Star Trek, is this 35th? No, 25th anniversary NES, and that was $6. But Star Trek's on NES, I feel like I usually see for $10-15, so went ahead and picked it up to add to the collection. Okay, continuing right along, this next stack was 42 total. This was actually from a flea market, one that I've been to a few times before, but near the front, they actually had like a new section with games and comic books and figures and stuff, which I was excited to see, and especially once I started seeing some of the prices on these. There's some good stuff in there for good prices. So definitely I went ahead and picked up what I could or what I wanted. So the first one was a copy of Bad Dudes for $5. Nice. The first Gauntlet game for $5. Nice. The Guardian Legend, $5. These are all in decent condition. This one is a little yellowed on the top. And Conflict for $5. Definitely getting a lot of $5 stuff on this trip. Namco Museum Volume 1 for $5. Happy to pick up PS1 games. I'm definitely adding a lot to my PS1 collection this trip, you'll see. Rampage World Tour for $3. I mean, that's like a $12 game. I actually have it, but I think this is an upgrade. But that's like a $12 game at least. And they had Rampage 2 Universal Tour for $3. Missing the manual, but very cool. I like that their PS1 games were even cheaper. Tekken 2 for $3. I think I have a disc and manual only for this, so that's an upgrade for me. SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge. Another upgrade where I just have disc. And Bug Riders, The Race of Kings. Very strange. Very strange looking cover there. That was $3. So very nice. The PlayStation games were definitely great on that, but there's some good NES titles in there to be $5 a piece. So happy to pick those up. Okay. So the next bundle was from another trade-in store. Like I said, I was kind of hitting every single one along with GameStops, but also basically every single trade-in store that I normally hit. This one actually, I was able to trade in some stuff. I just had some extras, and they took about $10 of trade-in credit for like a small stack of DVDs and a few games, DS games. This was about $14, took 10 off. It was like $6 after tax and all that. So basically $2 a piece is how I'm viewing it with the trade-in. Picked up Vortex for the SNES. Very nice. Super Off-Road, the Baja. And I actually didn't notice that it has a screw literally in there. So I might try to replace that or something, not sure. But that's another one. Picking a theme that I have the box for. Very nice. This box, it's a little indented on the front, but otherwise pretty good. This box deal that I got was really nice. They are having like a discount on all their boxes, and then they are like giving free shipping if you ordered 5 or more. So I got a good deal getting all these boxes, and now I'm happy to start filling out those boxes and, you know, really adding to my boxed SNES collection. And the third one was a copy of Aeon Flux for PS2. So complete. Didn't have that. I didn't pick up a lot of PS2 this trip, which is probably good because definitely getting pretty full on that. I guess that's how it goes. As you go, you start finding less and less, but it also kind of makes it more exciting when I do find something, because out of the like 600 PS2 games I'm at, hey, I found one that I don't have. So here are the last 3 bundles. These were from various places as well. This is actually from a Goodwill, and not technically a pickup for like a console, but it was Douglas Adams' Starship Titanic. And this is like, I think it says Windows 95 on it, yeah. But for $3, I couldn't pass it up. I do love Douglas Adams books. And I think I did watch a playthrough of this at some point. I learned about it, that, you know, it's kind of like a interactive, one of those older interactive games, but in like a Douglas Adams written story. So that was really cool. Picked it up, $3, why not? The flea market, I did find Robotech Invasion. This is just an upgrade. I have a copy, but it's pretty beat up. So picked up that to replace it for $2. Good price. Another pawn shop I went to, I picked up Minecraft Wii U edition for $6. I picked it up because I had just recently sold a copy for like 14 or something, so I knew it was worth it to pick up. So I'm not keeping that. Good pickup. And I did pick up Burnout Revenge. I think this is the last Burnout game I need, actually, for PS2. So that was $2, I believe. I know it was $4, actually. So $4 for that. Glad to get it to kind of complete the Burnout collection. This last one was an interesting Wii pickup. One of the pawn shops I went to, this place I'd been to before, and I kind of marked it as not a great location because they don't have a lot of games and the prices are pretty high. And when I went to it this time, they had a few games with some higher prices on it, you can see. And they just had some random Wii games. So I asked them, how much are Wii games? And they said $4 a piece. And then I went to go look at them again. And then I asked, does that count all of them or just these ones that don't have prices? And then they were like, oh, well, actually, it is all of them. And, I think it's one of those things where pawn shops put the price on a long time ago. And eventually they're just like, yeah, whatever, we'll just do one flat price, which is great because that's kind of how you can get some deals on stuff. So went ahead and picked up 4 games. Picked up Wii Sports, which is always good. This is disc and sleeve only on that. But yeah, and they had 20 on it before, so $4 is great for Wii Sports. Probably the best of the bunch, Mario Kart Wii for $4. That's complete. Very nice. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. This is Beijing 2008, which I did mess up on that. I thought, I think it's Rio that is actually worth some money. So that is only worth like $8, I think. So not a great deal on that one, but that's okay. And a copy of Wii Sports Resort for $4. So some nice Wii game pickups. Just some, I think all those I'll be selling, but stuff like that I'll always pick up because they sell consistently. Wii Sports Resort, I think I've sold like 5 or 6 copies. Just because it always sells, and it always at least goes for like 10 to 15 or more like 10 to 12, but it can go a little higher sometimes. And Wii Sports is good too for selling or bundling. So that was it for this stack. Like I said, I went out 2 days in a row, so I'll show the second day as well. And I did part of the reason going on this 2 day trip was to hit a bunch of Game Stops. So I'll also have probably be a separate video where I go over all my GameStop pickups, which is really exciting. But got a lot of SNES stuff and got a lot of PS1 stuff too, which is really good. NES I'm not trying to work on right now, but I keep getting it. So as long as it's pretty cheap, I'll keep picking it up. And I've been getting a lot of 3DS lately too, which is exciting because I did not have a lot. And I'm sure, as you guys know, most places you go, 3DS is really expensive. Even for just carts, you'll see they'll be in a glass case for like $15-20 a piece. So happy to get some of those as well.